help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. That has caused carnage on our streets. 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. More than all the wars.
Stephanie Carter seemed frozen as Biden's grip seemed to last too long. Meanwhile, the newly sworn-in defense secretary continued with his remarks.
I'm grateful to the President and the Vice President for your trust and confidence, and to the U.S. Senate as well.
Things went from uncomfortable to plain awkward as Biden bent down slightly, apparently to whisper in Carter's ear. This so-called awkward moment attracted media interest immediately.
Well, the fortunate thing is I didn't have many larger contributors, and the only reason... See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself.
And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy for it. Give me a break. Because here's the deal, guys. We decided we were going to change the world, and we did. We did.
Thank you. Thank you.
What happens now is that we, in fact, have to fundamentally change the culture of how women are treated. That's why, as vice president, when I asked the president I could start the movement on the college campuses to say, it's on us. It's everyone's responsibility. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching.
Very poor choice of words.
I know more than most people know, and I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on? Let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your work straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that in MSNBC. You did not hear that. But you heard. Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
No, I don't want to.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, Fat, look, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
It looks like you don't have any more backbone than Trump does.
Let him talk.
Any other questions?
Yeah, all right. I'm not voting for you.
Well, I knew you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me.
Welcome to the show. My wife recently left me. She's divorcing me. What can I do to get her back? What advice could you give somebody like me to get her back?
I'll talk to you afterwards, okay? I'm happy to. I promise. I'll talk to you afterwards, all right?
Well, could we just get this out right now because we're live?
No, we're live. I'm beginning to see why your wife left you. That we provide efficiency for appliances. That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of, $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air. I promise you, the president has a big stick. I promise you.
Will you ever run for political office again?
No.
Economic plan does nothing to tackle the #1 job facing the middle class, and it happens to be, as Barack says, a 3-letter word: jobs. J-O-B-S. Jobs.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man. Yeah.
First of all, I actually like Dick Cheney for real. I get on with him. I think he's a decent man. In Long Island for 10 years or so, God rest her soul. And although your mom's still alive as your dad passed. Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, or Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor. I learned a lot. And I learned that it makes a difference. This was the diving board area, and I was one of the guards, and there weren't allowed to, there was a 3-meter board. And if you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there. And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There was a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pool filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And they had, in those days, you used to remember the straight razor. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you Esther Williams. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, you apologize to me? I said, I apologize for that, not for throwing you out, but I apologize for what I said. He said, okay, close the straight razor, and my heart began to beat again.